Hello and welcome to Evening Reflections. I'm Anne and thanks for joining me. There's an interesting thing I notice when something dramatic happens in my life, and it's usually when something seriously bad happens, like when my mum told me she had cancer and 2 months later we buried her, or when I've received a diagnosis from a doctor and had to go into hospital. Those are just 2 little examples, and I'm sure you'll have plenty of your own. What happens to me in those kind of moments is all the things that usually give my life its busyness, the detail, the things that take up my attention, my energies, my time, stop being important. They kind of fade into the background, and I focus on what really actually matters. It may be for you that the current COVID-19 situation is having a similar impact on you. Perhaps there are other things going on in your life which have done that kind of thing. And it reminds me of a magic eye picture. If you've seen them and used them, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, go on to any internet search engine, type in magic eye and you should be able to find it. It's a picture that has lots of detail in it, lots of small detail, and usually a fair bit of colour as well. When you look at it, the first thing you'll notice is the detail, and it's easy to get lost in that detail. In fact, it can be overwhelming sometimes. But the purpose of that magic eye picture isn't the detail. It's something that you can only see by changing your focus. And if you bring that picture up nice and close to your eyes so it all blurs, and then gradually take it out, looking away into the distance as you do, then what happens is there's an underlying image that kind of pops up. And it's in 3-dimensional space, and the more you look at it, the clearer it becomes, and often the further away you hold the picture, the deeper that 3D image becomes. And it seems to me that in my life, that image is actually it's woven in amongst the detail. And in my life, God is part of my bigger picture. He is a fundamental underlying part of the magic eye of my life. And Jesus had a lot to say about the detail that people have in their lives and the little things that preoccupy their attention and their time and take their energy. And he wasn't saying those things are necessarily bad or that you shouldn't do them. In fact, they're oftentimes really important to do. But what he was saying is that there are some fundamentals that are really important to how we shape our lives, and they have to do with our values and our attitudes toward God, and just as importantly toward other people. There was a day when a couple of people came up to Jesus and they said, "Oh, look, Jesus, if there was only one thing that we could do, what would it be?" And Jesus responded with 2 things. The first was to love God with all your passion, with all your energy, with all your intellect. And the second one was to love your neighbour as you love yourself. In other words, love other people. And while that may sound simple, it may even to some of you sound a little superficial and like a motherhood statement that just rolls off the tongue so easily, it is an incredibly profound statement and really difficult to put into practice, I found, because it actually means taking the focus off myself and my details in my life to focus on God. And as I do that, he helps me notice others, other people, and to respond to them with love and care. Even when we're in a community that's in social isolation, in lockdown. So Jesus invites us, he invites all of us to switch our lives with its focus on the detail around ourselves to God, and through God's eyes seeing those around us and loving them. And as we do that, his love and his peace and his way of doing things can give us an underlying fullness for our life now and into the future. And my hope and my prayer is that you can experience that for yourself. Bye for now.